na me pese ye share Liverpool adne Mo Salah buhaha no abrante mo beka na nsen Liverpool games no ba be 3 sam me kan year ni nyina no Liverpool ade omo lineup ebeba no bench omo bo ni nyina no Mo Salah enka ho ena abrante ne ko kan se no atena se ho se eniema na ekona se obu otimi aso won hyeden fili no to on be so ya na omo yi ne free eyetinum akofa nsempi ade abane mpese ho sai issue no kakra bia ye other issues so mpese ye dia no etum na edi nkomo no etimi ade mamo Fiifi Manfred ha sanso na Bismarck ogutu bempa Ayala omuna no atena chempenifo good morning na bibia boko de
me hoye pa me so hoye
na me adom na me gusu shira Ayala good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Now what you saying?
Oh, no, madam, yeah. Maybe I fine.
You don't have me say. Mama says from few ho. Mo Salah and Liverpool sense me. And say by and share that in community and then proceed in community pa. To me, dear, me minimum Salah ya drink. Minimum Ayala. A brand in some cook can be so point there, but baby, you could na cancer no. Or professional enough and in some good now. Or come in a baby on Sujina Nafi in common far in free.
They are the way I know my econo. Now you want the space BBC.
Okay.
But these are my thoughts. First of all, sir, we a coach of any big club. Nase opese otache the superstar in the team. Then you must be ready, say, the moment you do that, you get results. Because you don't just touch poster boys. You touch them and you must prove why you touch them. And the ultimate proof is a resource. Nancy Zabi Alonso now ordinance Kaka Vinicius Jr. If results were going well, nobody will mind Vinicius ne tantrums over through. Because the team is bigger than any individual.
As a result, no matter. The fans will come at you.
Me. With my experience in life, Mijitum say, Mo Salah was able to make those comments because after touching him, results in him back. And Onyaku could put to go and say it. Because and Kasadia, yes, the moment you do that, then you are trying to say if even results are good, now we want the idea say results are good. Will you want to create the impression say you are even bigger than the club? And see the enormous impona say oh mbobia. I just say things are not done right. No, nobody will do that. And Mo Salah Onyaku to go and say what he said after the Leeds game. It was after a 3-3 game. Liverpool and me and say. And you see, I didn't know Liverpool has started winning. And then the man in Yaku could go cast. Now you see the issue of in some now or kind, time now or kind some was it right or wrong? Me say a subjective though, but a case of psychological term, a case of say what trigger obi stimulus. For instance, Rich, yet you was here. Under no circumstances now be the matter.
Because BNC.
But me rush studio hana me power ni swa. You react in an aggressive way because why should I be able to do that? And me from my background, before me baby Bibiano, you must know say a stimulus and a reaction. Bibi Trigano. Asama Mohamed Salah go kan me sure say he wanted and conform wa bonting to be more involved in the topic of say bench no, so that the baby amra coach or the mate na bench, you are not saying enough results in and yes or the mate na bench no make you or the mate na bench results no ma and me say I'm not the problem, but so be anka me take the opportunity to say it so that it becomes a conversation at the club. That is what he has triggered. And you can be on the side of diplomacy, professionalism, and can only team no only teammates. On your more respectable to the dressing room, legitimate concerns. But sometimes to you instigate reaction with these things. Now, Rich, okay, then according to James Pierce, almost say Richard Hughes, our the sporting director of Liverpool, was very, very influential in telling Anna Slot say game near Kwakobo in Tania Fasalanko after making those comments. Wow.
So then you're coaching the decision.
No coach in decision.
Okay.
Say a coach in the technical, but what James Pierce, yes, what the James Pierce can say, they were more integral.
Okay.
And even Anna Slaughter Becker say yes, those discussions of course would be in making a squad any kind of monument. The bar stopped with him, but and just said they also don't influence those kind of conversations, you know. And it came back to say, look, after what Salah did, the club has also shown him. Say, Obi, yes, Abuano say, Onya no one kawa onye in a century. And he said, if Salah was trying to instigate a reaction, expecting Liverpool so many weaker, Rich, I think they've shown him they are not weak. How many weak people? And it's okay, and they will succumb to you. And when I was about entering the studio, now me read James Pierce article be our athletic, and I think said Gabby said it. Say and I slot to say since Mohamed Salah come make his comments now. The representatives, any Liverpool representatives have had conversations. Onu and a slot, any Mohamed Salah personally have had conversations. Now, and our case be, they are going to have another conversation. And Salah conversation and a bit whether Salah will be part of the team against Brighton and Hove Albion. Now, Rich, you see,
in conclusion, yeah,
me follow Obia Kasa, especially Anna Slot. Oko Italy no. Oko hem koma odi fa Salah ho. Ewo ne conversations, me can a pre-match and in the post-match press conferences in the Champions League. He is expecting Salah to apologize, but he's not saying it directly. Now Salah also say in day na no interview they say, oh, Pisa, you will get the opportunity to say goodbye to Liverpool fans, you know, in front of them, our Anfield, in a game against Brighton and Hove Albion. Now, what it means is that, sir, Anna Slot and him says Salah will want to appear on the pitch on match day and say goodbye by Sobeko Park. So no one says so. Me call Afcon about. Say Sadia na Salah can say who here no party ah. And in the conversation I know today no. Brafon. Na dia also ye bia no mo adwunu mu yedu na ye na me ma opportunity to say your goodbye before you go to the Afcon.
Okay.
And me the excesses of the Aranchera aka, the Jimmy Carragher aka, and only obi adwin kire me so metima kire ma adwin bi. But I heard the real conversations in the corner. Salah wanted to instigate a conversation. Liverpool has shown strong hands in dealing with it. And Mijidi said Salah was able to instigate because now results in back. And the conversation today will determine it. But Kame Ben Salah na mutu nufwa. Kame kache ni say, Odo wonsako womono. They've shown you they are not weak people. And he said, if you really meant to say open opportunity at Anfield, I say goodbye and son wako AFCON now. Between our last game and this wako AFCON, about a lot of things can change. But answer now because to get this opportunity, no, and to put the case to bed. No one you assume Jacko AFCON, no. Opa oko mu anaslota admits
and apologize.
Say manyen yoma. Let's all try and make peace and move on in the best interest of the club.
Sure. All right. Right now, Mohamed Salah and Liverpool sense me.
In 2021-2022 season, Mohamed Salah yari and been see that English Premier League game. I think that's the quality of player and the level of Mohamed Salah drew in terms of a football comma. It's not even about the number of goals he scores season in, season out. Derby. Just 2 records that Mohamed Salah has done. Rich, Premier League na ya ba. Nobody had won the PFA Player of the Year. In that same season, we winning Playmaker of the Year. Masanso the Golden Boot of the Year. Nobody had done it before.
I said Mohamed Salah.
And we had top players in the league.
Yeah.
Thierry Henry,
top
Alan Shearer, Didier Drogba, even in Liverpool, Kenny Dalglish and the likes.
Save Gerard Munabo.
Let's Stevie put on Shearer a regular goal scorer, but those that used to score goals, the Suarez, Agueros, like these names. And Rich, last season, he bettered that record. Some record and I may say Obian Premier League game. Last season, Mohamed Salah brought a better version of that record. In last season contest, no, Mohamed Salah edge league. So there's been nobody that has won the Golden Boot, won the PFA Player of the Year, won the Playmaker of the Year, and also won the league in the same season. It had not happened before. Last season, Mohamed Salah was the first ever player to do that. So I can understand when the argument is that baby Mohamed Salah no. It is beyond the regular player. He is outrightly a legend, not just at Liverpool, but in the context of the English Premier League. You cannot write the history of the English Premier League, the modern day one. In fact, in terms of Liverpool's modern day history, nobody has been more influential than Mohamed Salah and Jurgen Klopp. Are those two streams that have pushed Liverpool to the limits and places that they've been able to get to? Nobody. Enye Mohamed Salah, enye Steven Gerrard, enye Kenny Dalglish, enye Ian Wright, enye friend saying Paisley. It's none of them. It has been Mohamed Salah and of course Jurgen Klopp. Maurice, you see, Liverpool for this summer had players worth almost 460 million. Yeah. When they bought those players, and yes, Salah it was the sporting directors, crunching numbers, and the analysts, checks, the account people that sat down and said that these people are value for money. When they brought these players in, last season they won the league. Why do we think say Liverpool want to buy these players? Liverpool bought Ekitike and Ishak not because Ekitike and Ishak yes, and they did because Mohamed Salah now know source of goals 30, 40, any idea they know. He is entering 30 and reach a normal. When a player enters the age of 30 and upwards, there is this blip that happens. So they expected that there is going to be a blip for Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah is the highest source of goals for Liverpool for 5 seasons or more. And I don't think they expected a blip. That's why they bought these players. They bought Ekitike. They bought Alexander Ishak. They bought 2 players who constantly will give you goals. And to even to the extent that today Liverpool's best player on the field of play, Hugo Ekitike. So they bought to augment that. And when we started the season, at Torrentema to club, Diogo Jota has passed. The psychological effect of that on the club, on Liverpool, people don't mention it. It affected the club. In fact, and yes, I'm going to the modern Marco form. It's the whole team. Barring Ekitike, maybe goalkeeper Alisson Becker, and maybe Gravenberch or Szoboszlai.
Yeah.
But almost everybody is suffering. In fact, record signing in Florian Wirtz is suffering. Alexander Isak is suffering. Alex McAllister is suffering. Which clearly you can tell say Salah they perform. But the team, which is Liverpool club, and as much as suffering to put players no for 60,000 by put them together to get results. Because last season, the difference that last season they didn't have a Kitike, they didn't have a Shaq.
So Kofi, are you saying it's a problem? No? Oh, the only saying Mo Salah, but the players no Tom don't augment his squad.
Yes, it's Liverpool. It's a Liverpool. Yes, it's a Liverpool problem.
Okay.
I think one psychological from the passing of Diogo. Two players from Kotoban and Anna has not found a solution. And you see the problem. The main problem is from Anna Slot. Rich, so who are we here, the host of this show? What's Kofi? First, maybe I only Ayala now be a Babajina tactical board this year. But I think that we are not getting your goal, you're hitting your target. So I want us to debate and sit on a round table. You are the one who saw the problem and you manage us. So then you bring up a solution. His solution was that Salah should sit on the bench for 3 games. I do not see a problem with that. And until I bench for 10 games, until I bench for, in fact, there have been games where free bench, but it is consecutively not bench for 3 games. So Salah was on the bench for 3 games. When you sat on the bench for 3 games, in a game against PSV, Salah, he covered more grounds than a lot of people. Against Leeds United, when you be more, the team drawn the game. So it is not as if Salah free and the results have come. But this is a coach trying to find a solution, especially at a time where Mohamed Salah echo AFCON. So it was a big opportunity for the coach. Mami find a solution. Let me see if we can use these new players now, to give us a base. See, later on in the season, maybe when you pick form or when we change style of play, at least we have 2 distinct styles of playing to get results. I think that Mohamed Salah did not uphold himself in the way teams should uphold themselves. Yeah, Rich.
How do you see
football in its states? It's not like the way Americans do their sports. Majority of American sports are individual sports, but football is entirely team. It is the reason why no matter who you are, the likes of Luis Enrique will make sure that you play to the team. Maybe it won't come out. Maybe it will not be the Mohamed Salah situation, but immediately Mohamed Salah went above and beyond to stand by the press and tell them and use words like "Ono energy league no more, my no cry, Ono no cry." But at that point in time, you are beginning to belittle teammates now.
Sure.
Is Mohamed Salah alone going to win the league again for Liverpool? It's going to be difficult. You will need a support.
Even seasons no cry. Oh yeah, so
people supported you. For me, they're
most of the goals no be creative man.
Yes, but Rich, many Anna slots in Yagi with this, This is a time where so show leadership, and it starts from Virgil van Dijk. I don't think Virgil van Dijk beats me a year. So I think say Alice in a year. Somebody should speak to Mo. Somebody who is a friend. And Alisson has been with Mo from Roma and San Mobile Liverpool. He should speak to Mo. They should go to the manager. Mo can ask him enter the manager. No? If they think that they can't go on with it, they should separate January back. If they can, they should go on and get results.
But also, who share Musa and our advice now? Obeka say on stay Liverpool and on move on.
Only 2 years now, Zanwako.
Only.
Yeah. The financial commitments, no financial. Is
the environment then toxic?
Oh, we can always solve it if it becomes concurrent, if it becomes consistent and a very toxic. I don't think that now it's toxic. I mean,
and to say
there be apart from that, I need to check my crack. So I couldn't hear a combat.
To be answer your problem.
Manchester, what do you if you maybe if you require.
See, man, I'll say Mo Salah is not a timid person. He spoke his mind as a human being. Okay. You bring a chance. Also, no, Liverpool need Kessiapa. I say, Ancelotti should leave Mohamed Salah alone. He's not a good coach. Right, Charles. When the Casa say, "I go, I'm on."
You don't catch a
poster boy, they all don't sakana.
Catch him, you get results.
Especially, baby, I'm not when the result is not coming. People will ask questions.
Of course, what touching the pay you must get results.
He's a poster boy.
Oh, why is that?
If you on Traben, what the next Traben is decision now taking an acquaintance Sebi. Nyansabia and so in him. All right. Young close to that chapter now. Say young told me the so 4.5. Now coffee this time me about now me view Ayala. In fact, nan say many series of course. It was messages near day. Almost me bisa when I Chelsea ni. Star question we intend me bisa who specifically. Chelsea, what is the problem? It seems some big teams are. Pony neat no show. We don't to proper position. And a typical example is Nanu Yamani Barcelona. Move from Kofon, come on, 3. Arsenal, yeah, yes, so behind me show me. What is 10 against 11? And you draw the team. From Kushan leads no many teams in Kitwana. What is the problem, Chelsea? No problem, Nadia. Big game, Namunim dear.
No, near Chelsea go through no normal with young teams. Now, for people to understand, say, Asema make any say, and now will be some that make our seminal. Minoka say, Obia retweeting me tweet Metroy about this Chelsea issue, see, which was on the 23rd of November 2025.
Okay.
Last month. That was the time when Chelsea Obia. And this was my tweet. So if you permit me, I'll read. What I wrote was that no matter what happens at the end of the day, water down your expectations if you're a Chelsea fan. The team has been here before and almost at the same time last year, but it's still a young team and they will likely drop off. The goal remains top 4. Don't put pressure on yourself and lose sleep when the team loses 1 or 2 and draws a couple more. And others, cheers. Now, Rich, I said this at the time where Chelsea were doing well. And immediately Chelsea decided to go on this tangent of Tonkra with a youthful coach to manage them. The biggest issue was this.
That's what mean you're consistent.
When you're consistent. You can't be consistent. I wouldn't be surprised that Chelsea will beat Everton tomorrow. Easy. So Obeshe Everton. Or share Everton we are. Last year by this time. Or go through good result. You see that somewhere in the middle of January. Now says Simiti has 2, 3, 4 games. That is what you get from young players. And I am very certain that the Chelsea recruitment team knew this. And what usually you hear in the media from the UK say, oh, in Kofoka, Enzo Maresca, then Chelsea will quickly send Fabrizio Romano or David Austin to come in and say that, oh, Chelsea are backing Enzo Maresca full time. Because Enzo Maresca might have told them, say, projects na ye namsu na ye kono. A young cry. And they will need to grow. See, so Atalanta match Libya. In the first half, it was a physical duel. Second half, Chelsea dropped off. You see, Enzo Maresca was playing some match, with everything in mind. And Chelsea loses that match. In this way, you starting with Rhys James, Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, what's his name, Chaloba, centre backs. Rich, you're free half time by Chaloba free. When was the last time to say Chaloba? Chaloba doesn't get hurt like Fofana. But the thought is that AB and you load never does. It's Premier League,
that game no on yellow card.
You're the yellow card, but after a game, you need free because of Everton and also to protect him from the yellow card. But there are a lot of games that Chaloba do yellow card by about 90 minutes. You see, no, and you coach us. You see, because coach Rubina Morimo. I thought maybe I don't understand why. If you live in a glass house, don't throw stones.
You are
the one who did it.
Who can it?
No, me say. I say that when him.
Who can see some my people better?
No, you're showing 10 points.
They are level points and I level.
But you're that when him.
Coffee.
No, you're that when him and but what I'm saying is that so coach Rubina Morima, you don't say coach Binade until you sack Rubina Morima. Then you can come out of that conversation.
No, me when you say until and now I will catch him and say, oh, you need him because of Everton game.
Yeah.
Me now it was a yellow card.
No, he mentioned that he took him out because of the Everton game. I'll pull it out for you. Okay. But you see, again, Chelsea are 119 changes to almost starting 11. It is the most of any team in Europe. in 20 games. Obiano Europe eyes are changes DB. Why? I read from the Athletic again that the Adriana Maresca here with players not Sano. And yet out of one whims and caprices. Apparently, the Chelsea recruitment and board told him the players in the Breberi are trauma on. We want you to be able to change because of load management. And you see, you know what? Into one player check for a very long time. So whilst Maresca was standing on the touchline in Bergamo, he was thinking of Everton. Into apart from Chaluba, second of the West Fofana by me boy. Or the West Fofana by. Can you imagine now is James and an number 6 Enzo Fernandez I'm ended. Enzo Fernandez and about 10. Oh Enzo Fernandez free mu. Why? When was the last time Enzo Fernandez being rested? Oh Enzo Fernandez free mu. And what the Malo Gusto Babeshemu. He did not play with another number 6. There were midfielders on the field. There was Abete Andre Santos. He decided not to play Andre because he knows that Caicedo will not play against Everton. So he has to go and play Andre Santos against Everton over the weekend. What am I trying to say? What I'm saying is that until they find a team 22-23 that's play together and understand each other, these silly small issues will pop up. And I don't see it so much as a way forward and as way forward. On that, they are furious with Enzo Maresca. But Chelsea will go through it. And if they go through it, Enzo Maresca has to learn. I've said several times, near maybe saying as a Maresca and shady, yeah, it is going to become his undoing. Our Chelsea Football Club. At the end of the day, what is most important is that if Chelsea don't win against Everton, then everything becomes nonsense. Sarah Tucci is not here. He has to be able to beat Everton. Again, it's a long season. So when they get there, we'll see Senya.
Todd Bolimo, how many years?
Three. Third year.
Okay, so I want to ask her. They seems to have a plan. Yeah, to young players. We all admit the young team, and they say omu intimate and you're consistent, you know. A idea about with the characteristics of the team being young. In the same Busa Fiifi, any Chelsea for say. At what time? And omo guys have conversation with and say now we've
title contender.
Yes, now we've grown. We've must our level of consistency be by a team name. From next transfer window, Chelsea are not going to buy a lot of players and change these players. They'll be there. They'll add 1-2. Example, what Arsenal has done. See, Arsenal have had a certain level of consistency. Be team name. It is only Partey who went here. The Zubimendi aba. We are okay. Jorginho Koye. Yeah, the Nogadaba. Martinelli is already there. Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka is already there. Kai Havertz has been there for how many years? You get my point.
Yeah.
At what level are they expecting that?
I think Chelsea should be there in the next 2 transfer windows.
So we are talking about 5 years.
No.
So 2 transfer windows.
So ball mobile. So on budget team 3 years.
Yeah, but so 1 more year.
2 transfer windows. 2
transfer windows
here. January and the next summer.
All right.
Yeah, I think after next summer because 4 years that's what team competing.
Okay.
After 4 years, you should be able to compete because even Arsenal by the 4th year, you can see they are competing. Because
and the 4th year, they are money. They are saying me.
I said no. You see, Adiabakwa to had it wrong at the beginning. Was the first coach appointment. Graham Potter was a wrong appointment. Oh, now say obey Jumani and using the results like I said. The Graham Potter was appointment was a wrong appointment.
That time.
But
on Brighton and I know with my age.
It's only 2 seasons here, then we'll see.
Okay. Yemfi Chelsea na also as a Barca fan, me say a question. I mean, it's all comedian as well. Former players of Barcelona. It seems so much too. If you so this Barca team is good enough. Say to the Champions League. And if so Barca team are relatively as a young players, especially already Barcelona back four now. Saa teams we ni mfanje eye Champions League. Now, who as a Barcelona fan, what it is answer maybe especially with those that things there. This Barca team is good enough to win the Champions League, you know. Who as a sports analyst, I also Tinechi now have Barca team now. If you say a fixable, I mean this team can win the Champions League.
Major Fiifi.
Okay.
Because Major Fiifi, what I mean is there is the potential no honum. Nothing really has changed. But Adiaki Tuamina Asano, and so very, very important. And they must fix it. Look, Inigo Martinez on and what he was giving the Barcelona team. Me as also free team now and I realize okay it was very, very significant. Diana Inigo Martinez, team. Inigo Martinez, Rich or a senior man. Or that's all about no. And he was not only playing well, he was not only giving the team no balance as a left-footed centre back. He was giving the team leadership from so. Rich, even till today, I still watch Kubasi and I see him as a young defender. Yes. You're on Krabi or Rich, they play 1-2 seasons, all of a sudden they become matured. Kubasi is still not matured. There is no way about Kubasi 70 minutes, 80 minutes, 90 minutes on your 2 mistakes obey. There are some time if you've watched Piqué mo at their peak, Puyol mo at their peak, Rio Ferdinand mo at their peak, Vidic mo, I'm talking about top class defenders at their peak. Abutine bi omo benya. And the way they handle some situations, they will Kubasi and so the tea kweshem or the body ni kopem. Even against players are physically omo head in channel. To was wa kopem no afi wa tofom. Na the ball na corner afi on na oyaria. The point I am trying to make in this say team bia Kubasi ebeye no most prominent player at the heart of our defense to dream of winning the Champions League, then you have a problem. It can happen, but a wild dream. And Diana what did the best out of Accra Banner was the leadership and the inspiration. Not war in Inigo Martinez. He is gone. Now Mubasa 4 and 5 no. Esel Krakeke. Kubasi. And on the wine and 4 and 5 now. Also on Gerard Martin.
Gerard Mardini.
Na Gerard Martin and Gasakrano. Left back now up on the crown. Ode Ayeso Husu. Does he assume confidence to you? If even he plays A-class game of what book game on say na the Gerard wa bobo pan. Yeah, the camera na throw so. Look at his facial expression. He has never been sure about himself. Even when he is playing very, very well, Krano. Also say, Gideon said that Nini or you say undo ye. Baby, I may want to say, Daibi na Mason. May I so your game one would titino. Pinching himself to say, me pana, me many opportunity I'm here game. The point I am making is Barcelona team no. A few work when Nimu goalkeeper super. 2 and 3 million problem biao. Marriage to win top level competitions, you need a lot of reliance on our defense now, and that's our big problem. Obio Bisame Mama Kaseo, the rumors about Sebasanko Dortmund. No monko talk about MSC game, MSC team, and probably that will solve the problem. It may solve to some extent. He is a good passer of the ball, or you're tall enough to deal with situations. You're highliner, you're born, or the pace to cover. See, also Drew Mikabanechia. He is a German who will not bred to understand flick. And in the room, but some bono. Say, Sikani ho. Numbers, we will delve deep into a DNA of always giving opportunity to a Lamasia boy. Young Kofo be free Dortmund and Mama name be to Lamasia boy now. Yet still in that role. Rich, me who say a stubbornness no. And then Barca and win the Champions League. Only if Barca will go out of their way and bring in a replacement for Inigo Martinez. So with me, yes, sir. Then Pakwaniban or yes, solid. Now obey me my leadership with Kubasia. Then Barca will have a very, very good chance. Say, or me replicate last season form and even go further. But this is here me will be so. What do you have to say? Obiam Bakabasa team no.
We idea.
This team idea.
Nothing.
It will be very, very difficult.
Because we mean so quick reaction we now for Murphy na.
Whether Barca can win the league?
Yeah, I know the Champions League.
The champion, yes.
With this team,
yeah, I think Barca are one of the favorites to win the league. I think Ayala is being modest because of Barca, and he doesn't want to sound like he's going like the Barca 7 nearby. Barca can win the league. Barca are one of the best teams to win the league. I did about Barca this season, April.
Okay.
And you see, the two run around. Deeper. Last time Ayala explained the psychology around those things. To the extent that 3 days ago, so Israel for religious and spiritual cleansing. Boys need to be serious, but I mean,
boys need to be crying.
We'll be finding a solution.
Boys need to be crying.
I want social media. Forget about social media. Social media, when you are seeing, be any brain or
Becas on the
bus. I don't need now. Look to one among who to social media. Say, and your solution, man.
Psyche issues,
because a couple of seasons
you're born over, I didn't know.
Of course, he knows that he.
It's the moment I dream the baby, you know. You can play no matter you are. You can't. It's all problem with you. You can't.
2 or 3 seasons. Yeah, 2 or 3 seasons or so ago. Arao was Barcelona's best centre back. They kept good clean sheets with team. When the team was struggling, that team didn't any centre backs give you baby. So, those are the things that Barca are struggling with.
Okay.
But you see, Adia Barco and me believe strongly with Barca's chance of winning the Champions League is the experience they garnered last season and then the man in the dugout. So what chance Flaker? Almost every time he finds solutions to things.
Okay.
Even this Gerard Martin and all the issues with Gerard, there was supposed to be a solution. Eric Garcia about open. Eric Garcia about Fiifi on him. Osha no. Mami pe natural left foot and my measure on him. At least he's giving them something. And then number 10, the last time we saw Lamine Yamal come to play the solutions. And I think that they just have to go through. You see, any time. Who is the Champions League table? No? So who qualify top 8? Now say when between first, second, third, fourth, and can't qualify top 8 going here. Because 7th, 8th, there's a likelihood that in the quarter final you meet first or second. Who's this away at home? No? It will go fast. You know, third, fourth because yes, Liverpool in Atalanta be
Eventually, na yɛntoa dwumadie no so nhyɛ 104.5 messages a mode aba no menyi bi mfiri hɔ na yɛntoa so ɛmfa ɛma mo Andy Otu ɔse sometimes the way Fifi defend and praises Maresca is very irritating. Maresca is not a Chelsea level coach. Stop that blah 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 hype. Okay.
Chelsea knows this year a normal Chelsea level. Chelsea knows this year a normal Chelsea level.
Timo has been over 1 billion. They say normal.
They will make us a Chelsea now. No, Maresca Bebe fine was a normal Chelsea level. When Chelsea already 11th, 17th.
But Chelsea ni nega so.
Let me be sour.
As a who attacking me.
No, me be sour. Okay.
Chelsea will play defense to do.
No, don't do that. If you do that, you make what he say become relevant. Of course. On the next question, it me come in the house. I'm defending. So you don't have to do that. Exactly. So you don't have to say me pay defense. Or no candidate.
Okay, the question then I will say.
Maresca Babefa. Oh, na so ntimi ya no. But you are a neutral person and maybe say for the purpose of the show.
Okay.
Maresca Babefa Chelsea team. Was it Chelsea level?
No.
Chelsea I no. Yeah. So how are you going to get a Chelsea level coach?
See man, I say Richardo, it has taken Manchester United 10 years to rebuild and still rebuilding. Please leave our Chelsea alone. You so Agwana send you messages and I have message to mommy. Mate, when Montreal another be a baby na a brand kwa na ekono. Through the trend na yemfa message ninja to us say, Rich, if Ayala is asking this question, it took Mikel Arteta at Arsenal 6 years to be competitive. It took Jurgen Klopp 5 years to win the league and have a stable team. Okay. Ono so na some of the abanti. Also, who busa sa question there? Okay. Ateta na mo bona ba so no. It took 5-6 years. And then odi abenya sa team na. Or they conquer we as in.
It took Pep how many years to win the league or UK?
Obaya,
it took Xavi how many years to win the league or La Liga? It took Hansi Flick how many years? He shouldn't be selective about examples.
Okay.
I asked a genuine question.
Okay.
Chelsea's narrative has always been, and I heard even Joko say it. Say, it has run through their commentary.
Okay.
Oh, team ni young, we will find consistency. Team ni young, and I asked a genuine question. Arsenal were saying those same things, but 2-3 seasons ago. Now they don't say that anymore. They said they are contenders.
Okay.
It was genuine to ask, you can't have the same conversation for about 3-4 years and say, oh, you are so young, you are so young. For 4 years, you are still young. At a point, you have to drop that conversation and level it. And I mean,
any big boys.
Yeah, we expect some command that being. It's very, very.
Once I go for here, team is I feel say referees now. Sometimes some decisions say MYA. Kebaji league no.
Timbe.
Na me team I'm supporting.
Manchester.
Say I feel this is one here. Say nye referees in the high kakaka.
Cambodia.
Born here bono. Kebaji league no.
No, but un say.
Kebaji league.
Unim data. Now we don't even discuss my
Are ya ba from za?
No, un say obia wo plan na utimi follow the discussion. Man you who plan no. It's difficult to discuss my like
and on purpose because at Tiama room
it's so difficult to discuss Manchester United because a scattered team
because team they too predictable. Only Manchester bar. We coach a ready game can be out. Yes, simple. We had to go with me, bro.
Now team papa the oya debre.
I'm so and Minister of the Mass Sports and Recreation. Here are Kofi Adams echo a parliament. Na dwumadi okodi no parliament no mpesa mi medi nanim kan na makasa de ama no. Ono an kasa call parliament no de entie de no copy parliament no. Yentie a minister na fe ye ba ma chechem na bega from rem na ini komo no emfama mi 4.5 honorable Kofi Adams enra awo eye parliament